Today is Sunday, and there hasn't been a lot going on in the garden this week. I've really just been watering and managing things throughout the week as we go. So really today I'm just going to give you an update on a few of the plants and how they're doing, show you how some of them are growing a little bit better since I made a few adjustments. So let's head over. I'll start with the lovely hops plants. So they're doing great. This is the nugget hops plant, and I don't know if you can see here, we're starting to get the buds for the hops cones, which is really exciting. I think maybe some of the cooler weather we've had recently stimulated that growth, but I look forward to seeing how that progresses. This nugget hop is also unstoppable. It just keeps producing more and more vines. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip this extra one that we've got going here. I want it to focus its attention on growing the vine that it's already got started. Get it? There we go. We'll just get rid of that one. Then it's got another one growing here, so we'll get rid of that one also. The Cascade hops plant is also doing well. Haven't seen any start to the cones yet, but one interesting thing that happened the other day, I don't know if you can see these crazy vines that are going up here. So the head of one of the vines was it was somehow damaged. I don't know if it was eaten off or what happened, but two more heads grew in its place, so almost like a hydra. And then a little bit lower down, another two started off of the next branching leaves down. So that's really interesting. I'm not quite sure what to do about that. I might end up trimming these two, but I'm kind of worried that if I do that, two more are gonna grow in each of their places. So I'm gonna do some digging and see what I need to do about that. The tomato plant I trimmed last week is doing really well. I don't know if you can see, we've got a lot more fruit than before. It's a lot bigger fruit, so that's really exciting. The piece that I trimmed is on the struggle bus a little bit, but I still have high hopes that we're gonna get there. The stem itself is still alive and doing well, so we'll see what happens there. But the basil looks happier to be in with a tomato and away from the other herbs. And then the other tomato plant is doing really well also. We have our first ripe tomato, so I will harvest that and have a little snack in a bit. And then the carrots are just loving their life. They are coming in strong. Squash plant is doing pretty well. We've got some little squash nuggets down in there, and we've got some really good flowers. And then that lettuce that I harvested a few weeks ago is really coming back well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with this one. The garlic is looking real happy, as well as the beets. So we're just letting those guys continue on. All of the bush beans are also doing great. So they're shooting up. They are very fast growers, which is fun. So yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on those, watching them branch out. The mint has bounced back like none other. So, you know, it's just loving life also. My lavender still hasn't flowered yet. I'm not quite sure why. I moved some things around so it's got a little more sun, so we'll see how that goes. The spinach, I believe, is almost ready to harvest the seeds. I think they just need to turn brown for me to be able to harvest those. So I'll harvest those and then hold on to them until the fall and do another crop probably early fall, since they like the cooler weather a little bit better. The jalapeno plant is still upset about something, but the carrots are starting to bounce back, so we'll see what happens with that. And then, the cucumber plant is very happy. It's just vining and living its best life. And we've got some little baby cukes hanging out in there. So really excited to see how those turn out. The kale has really bounced back since I got rid of all of those cabbage worms. It's just really thriving. So I'm just continuing to keep an eye out for more of those and make sure that I get them off the plants quickly. My green pepper plant is doing a lot better since I moved the jalapeno plant away from it. So I think maybe I just had those two a little too close together, because we've already got, I don't know if you can see, we've already got some buds forming in there. And that's really the only thing I changed with that plant. So I think they just were not friends. And then the little pumpkin plants are also doing super well. In that pot, they're a little bit smaller than this one, but they're doing great. The other thing I've been doing this week is doing some deep diving into foraging for wild plants. There are a lot of plants that grow as weeds or grow on public land that are actually very edible and nutritious. And so I've kind of been looking into that, and it's been really exciting. So of course the internet is full of a lot of different articles and content creators who talk about this kind of thing. But for me, I've been using this Midwest Foraging book by Lisa Rose, and it's really helpful. It's just got a really great overview of the different plants that can be harvested. So I'll just show you the most common. So dandelion, it's got really great pictures, as well as at the top it'll show you which parts of the plant are actually edible, and then it's got some great things on how to actually harvest them and store them, and how to use the different parts of the plant, so the leaves, the roots, the flowers, how to prepare those. So that's been a really fun thing that I've been doing this week. So if you have any interest in that, I would definitely recommend grabbing this book. And then there's also some great content creators out there. The Black Forager on TikTok is another great resource. She is hilarious and talks a lot about all the different both edible and medicinal uses for some of the different plants that grow in her area as well. So far in my own backyard, I've found dandelions, of course. I've also found plantain and violets, which the leaves are edible as well as the flowers. I've also found lamb's quarter and garlic mustard earlier in the spring. I just didn't know what it was at the time. So it's been really cool to just be able to walk into my backyard and find all of these edible plants that are growing naturally. Like I said, I'm very early in my exploration of foraging for different edible plants, so I'll keep you updated on how that's going as well. We are currently working on renovating our house, and we're finally at the point where we are putting up the framing for the walls in the basement, which is really exciting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to that. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date when I post new content. If you have any stories or questions or just want to connect with me, please do so in the comments down below. I hope you all have a great week. Happy gardening, friends!